Hello everyone, in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to make this hair bow using ribbon and leatherette together. So I've got this gorgeous printed ribbon and this sort of textured silver mirrored leatherette. I will try and link everything that I use in the description below. So the ribbon that I'm using today is this shimmery one, and this is a 3-inch wide ribbon or 75 millimeters or 7.5 centimeters, whichever you prefer to work in. And this is cut to 23 centimeters in length, or that is the equivalent of about 9 inches in length. So you will need one piece of ribbon. I went for this butterfly print because when we make the finished bow, the leatherette is folded and it resembles a butterfly. So this is the leatherette that I'm using today, and this is a textured silver leatherette with a lovely thick soft backing. And I've already cut 4 pieces. 2 pieces are cut to 1 centimetre wide or just under ½ inch, and they are cut to 8 centimetres in length or 3¼ inches in length, and that is those first 2 pieces. And then another 2 pieces, again 1 centimetre wide or just under ½ inch. And these 2 pieces are cut to 10 centimetres in length or just under 4 inches if you prefer to work in inches. So that's those 2 pieces. First of all, taking a lighter, I'm going to heat seal the raw edges of my ribbon. And this will just get rid of any frays and prevent any further fraying. And then we can work on our bow now. So we're going to fold this ribbon in half to find the centre, and I'm going to use my lighter just to get a little bit of heat on there to help mark a crease so I can see where the centre mark is. So when I open the ribbon up, I've got a nice crease in there now to work on my bow. And we're going to be making basically a basic tux bow, so nice and simple. So we're going to fold this into a loop now, so bringing those 2 raw ends together, and we're going to overlap them by just under 1 centimetre. So bringing the 2 ends in and overlapping them just under 1 centimetre, making sure they're lined up straight, and then I'm going to use my lighter to melt the fibres of the ribbon, and that will just hold them together. That will hold them together just enough ready for when we sew them together. So don't worry too much if it does come apart, but this method does work. It just saves using glue and having to sew through glue. So yeah, just melt the fibres, and then as these fibres cool, they will form a bond just to hold that into that loop like that. So we've got the crease here and the join at the bottom. So now we're going to bring this crease down, and we want to line this crease up halfway where they're overlapping. So pushing it down together, making sure they're in line down the sides, like that, nice and even. And then grabbing a needle, which I've got threaded with some strong thread, and I've popped a knot in the end, we're going to start sewing in our pinch. So we're going to use the crease that we've made across the middle to sew in our pinch as a guide. We're going to make 6 stitches going in through the top toward the bottom for our first stitch, all the way through to the knot, coming back up from the bottom toward the top for our second stitch, and then in through the top toward the bottom for our third stitch. And now we're basically going to mirror those 3 stitches on the other half, so back up from the bottom toward the top for our 4th stitch, and then in through the top toward the bottom for the 5th stitch, and then the 6th and final stitch will be coming up from the bottom toward the top for our 6th and final stitch. And now I can pull on that thread to form that cinch in the middle, so giving it a good tug to form that pinch. And then once you've got it nice and tight, keeping it pinched together with my thumb and finger, and then I'm just going to wrap some thread around the centre a few times to hold it in place. And then on this underside I'm going to go through a couple of times just to seal it off. So just going underneath the thread once, and then on the second go in, I'm not going to pull it completely tight because I just want to go through that loose loop just to form a knot, to seal it off, and then I can trim off that excess thread. And then when we flip the bow over, you will just need to give it a little fluff, as I like to call it, fluff the bow out to shape it. And then you've got your 3-inch wide ribbon single tucks bow. This looks nice just as it is, but of course we're going to add the extra detailing now with those leather strips. So bringing in our leather strips, 2 8cm and 2 10cm. First of all, we're going to cut little slits in these. So to do that, you want to fold one of your strips in half, and then we're going to cut a slit down the middle, centre. I do this by eye, but you're not going to cut it completely all the way through to the top. I'm going to fold this backwards actually, so we've got the back facing outwards. So I've just folded it in half and then down the middle. Again, do this by eye, and then leaving about 1/2 centimetre together at the top. So cutting down the middle, doing this by eye, cutting toward the top but not all the way through, so stopping about here, so leaving about 1/2 centimetre at the top. So you've just got like this slit. When I open it up, you've just got that slit down the middle. We're going to do that on all 4 pieces. So I'm now cutting the final 4th piece, the slit in there. So now we've got all 4 pieces now with the slits in. Taking one of the 10cm pieces now, we're going to loop this around, so keeping the front facing towards you, bring them both round together to meet at the bottom, and we're overlapping the right piece over the left piece halfway, and then taking this front loop, you want to push it through the back loop. So you've got this shape now. And then I'm going to now glue this together to hold it in place. So just grabbing my hot glue gun, I'm going to place some glue on that left side on the bottom right corner, and then again bring that right side over to overlap it about halfway, making sure they're both straight across the bottom. So that was a 10cm piece. So now we're going to grab one of the smaller 8cm pieces and do the same again. So 8cm strip, again folding the 2 bottoms down to meet at the bottom to form that loop, placing some hot glue on that bottom corner so we can overlap that right piece over the left side halfway, and again flipping that top loop through underneath toward the back. So that's the 8cm piece, and then we've got the 10cm piece, and we're going to now join these two together. So taking the 10cm piece where the right side is overlapping the left, place some glue on that bottom corner of the top piece, and then grabbing the 8cm loop, we're going to overlap it around halfway. And then as you can see, when I flip this sideways, that is now the right side of the butterfly shape formed. And now we're going to do the same with the other 2, but we want to make this symmetrical. So we're going to make that loop again, but this time we're going to overlap the left over the right piece. So we need to take our hot glue gun and this time put the glue on the left corner of the right side, if that makes sense. And then overlap that left piece over the right about halfway, pushing that loop through to the back. So that's the 10cm piece done now for the left side of the butterfly. And now the 8cm piece, the same again, forming that loop. And again, we're going to place the glue on the right hand side so that we can overlap the left over the right about halfway, and again flip that front loop through to the back. And now we're going to join these 2 pieces together. So taking the 10cm piece, and we're going to add the glue to the loop that's laying over the top. So this piece that's over the top, we want to add the glue to there. And then bring in the 8cm piece and overlap it halfway over that top layer. So that is now the left side of the butterfly shape formed. So as you can see, we put these together and you've got that butterfly look there. Now we're ready to add our leatherette butterfly shape to our bow. So I'm going to place some hot glue to the bottom inner edge of that strip, and then we're going to make sure we've got this the right way up. So my butterfly pattern is the correct way up, and this is the left side, so you've got the larger leatherette loops at the top and the smaller leatherette loops at the bottom. And then I'm just sticking this close to the center of the bow like that, and then do the other side. So place a few dots of glue along that inner strip, and then again placing it toward the middle of the bow as close as you can get. I'm just pushing in, concentrating on the sides, making sure it's all stuck down securely. And then we're ready to add our clip and wrap our centre. So this is what we've got so far. Taking my clip now, which I've already lined with some matching ribbon. This is a 45mm double prong clip. You don't have to line your clips, this is just something that I like to do. So I've popped some glue on my clip and I'm sticking it on the underside of the hair bow. And then to wrap around the centre, you could use a piece of the butterfly ribbon, cut a strip from that, but I'm going to go for the leatherette. So bringing back my silver textured leatherette, I'm going to cut a strip around 1 centimetre wide by about 5 or 6 centimetres in length. We can always trim it down if it's too long. So yeah, just cut a scrap piece off around 1 centimetre. I'm just levelling mine off. And then on one end, this is obviously going to be way too long, it's just a scrap bit that I've found, so I will need to trim this down. So I've popped some glue on one end and I'm sticking it underneath the hair clip, central to the hair bow. And then I'm going to bring it round to the front. And then I'm just going to add some glue on that strip to make sure that it covers that join where the butterfly meets in the middle. So bringing it over the join of that leatherette butterfly shape. And then on the underside, you can trim off any excess leatherette. You want about 1 centimetre, enough to wrap underneath the clip to finish it off. So opening up the clip and sticking that last end down. Sorry if I've gone off the camera, I haven't got much room to get it all in. Sorry about that. And there is the finished butterfly ribbon and leatherette hair bow. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. If you did, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you press the bell button, that will turn on notifications. I'll be back again soon. Bye!